Imagine coming home to a SWAT team on your doorstep, only to find out it's all a big mistake. Let's dive into the jaw-dropping story of how one homeowner took on their HOA and won. It was a typical Tuesday evening for John, a homeowner in a beautiful suburban neighborhood. He had just finished dinner and was settling in for the night when he heard a knock at the door. Expecting it to be a neighbor or perhaps a delivery, John got up to answer it. But to his surprise, it wasn't just any ordinary visitor. Standing on his porch were two police officers, looking stern and serious. "Can I help you?" John asked, confusion etched on his face. The officers explained that they had received a call from the Homeowners Association, HOA, regarding a disturbance at John's residence. Apparently, someone had reported loud noises and suspicious activity. John was baffled. "But I'm not even a member of that HOA," he protested. The officers seemed skeptical, but John showed them his property deed and other documents, proving he wasn't part of the HOA's jurisdiction. The officers apologized for the mistake and left, but John couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off. Who could have made such a false report, and why? Little did John know this was just the beginning of a long and arduous battle with his HOA. As the night went on, John started to investigate the matter further. He spoke to his neighbors, but none of them seemed to know anything about the incident. It wasn't until the next day, when John received a call from a local news station, that he realized the gravity of the situation. The HOA had not only sent the cops to his house, but had also made some serious accusations against him. John's curiosity turned to anger as he realized the HOA's actions were not only unjustified, but also malicious. He decided to take matters into his own hands and started documenting every interaction he had with the HOA. John soon discovered that the HOA had been trying to get him in trouble for months. They had been sending him letters and fines, claiming that his property was in violation of their rules and regulations. But John knew that he wasn't part of their HOA, and their actions were nothing short of harassment. Determined to fight back, John started documenting every interaction he had with the HOA. He recorded phone calls, saved emails, and even took photos of the letters they sent him. He soon realized that the HOA was going after him with a personal vendetta. It turned out that John had unknowingly bought a property that was adjacent to an HOA-managed community. The HOA board members were notorious for being strict and power-hungry, and they saw John as a threat to their authority. The HOA's actions became increasingly aggressive, with them sending contractors to John's property to inspect his lawn and exterior. John refused to let them in, citing that they had no jurisdiction over his property. This only seemed to enrage the HOA further. As the days went by, John received more and more threatening letters from the HOA. They claimed that he was violating various rules and regulations and that he would face severe consequences if he didn't comply. But John knew that he was in the right, and he refused to back down. One day, John received a letter from the HOA stating that they would be taking him to court over the alleged violations. John knew he had to take drastic measures to protect himself. He hired a lawyer specializing in HOA disputes and started building a case against the HOA. The lawyer helped John file a countersuit against the HOA for harassment and defamation. They also requested documentation from the HOA, including minutes from their meetings and records of their communications with John. As the court date approached, the HOA's behavior became more erratic. They started spreading rumors about John in the neighborhood, trying to discredit him in front of his neighbors. But John was prepared. He had documented everything, and his lawyer was confident that they would win the case. The day of the court hearing arrived, and John presented his case to the judge. The HOA's lawyers were overconfident, but John's lawyer tore apart their arguments, pointing out the HOA's blatant disregard for John's rights. The judge ruled in John's favor, dismissing the HOA's claims and ordering them to pay John's legal fees. The HOA was shocked and humiliated, realizing too late that they had gone too far. John's victory was sweet, but he knew that the HOA wouldn't give up easily. He continued to document their interactions, ready for another battle. The HOA, on the other hand, was forced to re-evaluate their actions and apologize to John publicly. The community took notice of the court's decision, and the HOA's reputation was tarnished. Homeowners in the adjacent community started to question the HOA's actions, and some even called for the board members to step down. John's case became a rallying cry for those who felt oppressed by HOAs. He became a hero to some, and his story inspired others to stand up against HOA abuse. The HOA's board members were forced to resign, and a new board took over. They reached out to John, apologizing for the ordeal and offering to settle any outstanding disputes. John, having made his point, accepted the apology and moved forward. John's experience had taught him a valuable lesson. Standing up for oneself is crucial, especially when faced with bullying and harassment. He continued to live in his home, enjoying the peace and quiet he had fought so hard to protect. The story of John's battle with the HOA spread far and wide, serving as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of homeowner rights. Don't let HOAs bully you. Stand up for your rights and fight for what's yours. Subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories and valuable advice.